I'll pull out a few photos that I took out from a few news websites. I thought I'll show you these different groups by their websites, by their main media outlets. This is Ynet. This is the biggest online media outlet in Israel. It's very much a centrist newspaper, right? And you can see a whole mixture of stuff here, right? From Alan Dershowitz, the chief of staff of the IDF, things to do with the International Court. But they're all very pro-Israel, as you can see. The top left corner, Gazans called for release of Israeli hostages in rare protest. Um, yes, there was some sort of protest against the Hamas government, but that's obviously not the majority of what Gazans are doing. But this newspaper wants to show that. It's very much centrist. All the way to Jewish porn producer and Cindy Crawford, something or another against anti-Semitism. In this newspaper, you can see one thing that's important. There's not one picture of Benjamin Netanyahu here. The only times he'll appear is very negatively, right? Next, this is the left. This is this newspaper called Haaretz. Haaretz is Hebrew for this land or our land or the land, right? It's the left-leaning newspaper. It's our New York Times. Even you'll see that this newspaper Haaretz pulls lots of articles from New York Times, from Washington Post. It's a left-leaning newspaper, right? It's from things about the massacre and about how hard the situation is. It is Biden might be sued by the ICJ, the International Court, and there's the bottom right, an actual diary piece from a Palestinian in Gaza, right? So this is very much the left-leaning. It's a very important newspaper in the sense like the New York Times in the media landscape, but it has a very small readership in Israel. Yeah? Every politician reads it, but not every Israeli does. Sorry, don't have this in English. This is Channel 14. This is something between Fox News and OAN. This is very much the right wing. This is what would be our alt-right, ultra-right. One thing I will show you is this is banner at the top of the website. It's written on the right, Israel is winning. And then there's numbers, right? If you look at the numbers, the number on the right, 25 plus 25,490 is terrorists we killed. That's what it says. That is the full number of dead in Gaza that we know of. This news site doesn't make any distinction between anybody who dies in Gaza. They're all seen as terrorists. And it puts in as a positive the number plus 63,354 wounded Palestinians. This isn't something that you should be abashed or fearful to see. In their view, this is something that you're proud of. You're showing a kind of kill list. And this is our version of the very much right-wing leaning media. Pretty incredible to see something like that. This is the ultra-Orthodox media. And they have two big websites for the two sides of their political world. Lots of things to do with their internal world, even though there's a big war, it's not the number one thing all the time. On the left, I circled in red. For the war, they have, as you can see, 862,740 chapters of the Book of Psalms read. They tell anybody who wants to read a chapter of Psalms, come read and put it on our counter, and we'll be praying for you. This is very much the way the ultra-Orthodox see themselves in connection to war and military. They see themselves as the ones who spiritually protect Israel, while the soldiers physically protect Israel. And their prayer is as important as anything else, right? The second circle I made is around this rabbi over here who came out with a rabbinical judgment or a rabbinical decision that says it is okay to stop trucks leading humanitarian aid to Gaza on a Saturday. So the ruling is that it will not be considered work that's not allowed on a Saturday if you're standing in front of a truck that's trying to bring aid into Gaza. And that's actually something that happened yesterday, right? And today in the morning. So they're getting ready for if this happens on a Saturday. So you see, that's their little nugget into this issue, right? And this is an Arab newspaper, Al Ittihad, from Nazareth. And this is just Google translating the page. But you can see it's a mix from, on the left, security officials attack members of the government, right? They're saying that they're leading to intifada. This is a Israeli affairs think piece. Washington Post, Israel has begun establishing a buffer zone. A source for Haaretz, you can see where they're pulling their information from the left media, okay? And this is an Arab newspaper.